Greetings, comic book friends. It is Wednesday. You know what that means. It's time for the excuse train. It is TGIW. Today I got in way over my head. TGIW, right? Kind of fits. So I've been making a lot of excuses. But I think my excuses this week are valid. So I have a total of 14 books. Again, I'm wanting to get into that 10 range. But let's start with the excuses. Let's start with the excuses first. No, that's not a good excuse. Those are pretty good excuses. Okay. So first of all, this one's fair. Stranger Academy 16, this came out a couple weeks ago. They were damaged when they came in, got replacements. So this one totally doesn't count. This is a number 1, but I'm not going to subscribe to it. I just wanted to read the first issue, and if I like it, I will get it in trades. But I really like the combo of Lemire and Wynn. I really liked Ascender and Descender. So I wanted to support that sort of team up and try Little Monsters out. But I will not be adding it. Again, if I do like it, I will get it in trade. So it's not as strong of an excuse, but I think it's still a fairly fair excuse. And then this was kind of unfair. We have 2 We Live one-shots. Age of the Paladions, black and white. So I think these are just one-shots that I wasn't even expecting were showing up. I didn't know they were going to be a thing. So that's kind of strange, right? So if you take those 4 out, then I'm right at 10, which, I mean, I've had some shady excuses in the past, but I think these excuses are kind of good. It's still higher. Like 10, if it is 10, it is towards the upper limit of where I want to be. But the ones that are also kind of stand out that are less of an excuse. Devil's Reign, Moon Knight in a one-shot, just because I love Moon Knight, I love Devil's Reign. So I picked that up. Let's see what Moon Knight's doing during that whole thing. And Punisher. So this one is no excuse whatsoever. I wanted to get this limited series, so I got it. But it is outside of just kind of the basic norm. I try not to get limited series very often anymore, but some of them I can't say no to. I can't say no to that Punisher. Then the other good news type stuff, I'm doing it in declining order of excuse. Of like, it's not so bad. The Joker number 13, which I think is the last issue, if I was told correctly. So this will be going away, which is fine. It's like, it's a fine series. I've enjoyed it. Probably didn't really need it, but I got so far into it that just might as well keep going. Devil's Reign 5 of 6, another almost over with limited series. So this won't be around anymore. Hopefully I won't pick up other limiteds. Or I should say, hopefully they don't come out with any more limiteds that I absolutely need. Because I'm trying to cut back. But these, like, Devil's Reign, I couldn't resist that. Punisher, I can't resist that. It's just, there's no way. So now when we get down just to the ongoings, and I'm down to 6. Right? So I have some sort of excuse for over half the books, which probably means they're not very... They can't all be excuses, but most of them here are. Anyway. Amazing Spider-Man number 92, the second to last issue in Beyond. So, spoilers with the cover. The Lizard is back, and something has happened to him, and it does not look good. I love the Lizard. Lizard is probably in my top 5 favorite Spidey villains. I think it was the first single-digit issue of Amazing Spider-Man I got. What is it, issue number 6? I think it was the first one that I ever got that was in single digits. So I really liked the Lizard because wow, I have his first appearance. This is really old. And that was before I was like actually collecting the full ASM run. It was just I got it because it was cool and it was there. But I really like the Lizard, so excited to see what's going on with him, and I hope he's going to be okay. Because it's not his fault, right? Venom number 6. So this is back to V writing this, where I think last issue was Ewing. Like, I don't know what they're doing with Venom, with the switching writers. You know, it's something that Spider-Man's been doing, but it seemed to work a lot better there. Not that I'm saying that this it feels disjointed or anything. It doesn't have what was I was expecting of a good story from Ewing. And I can't remember if I've talked about this, but I kind of feel it's not his fault that Donny Cates left Venom in a really bad state. Eddie Brock being the King in Black or dead or whatever he is, and Dylan being kind of the only one there to pick up the bag. Well, I don't think Dylan ended up being as interesting or as exciting as was intended. So with most of the story revolving around Dylan, which, like, Dylan's fine, but Eddie not really being around or being in this weird sort of role, like, that's how Cates left it for whoever had to pick up Venom. And Cates was really hard to follow. And it wasn't hard to follow because it was so good. I mean, it was fine. It's hard to follow because he absolutely destroyed the character. So how do you come back from that? I don't know. I don't think it's fair to Ewing or V. I think they're doing the best that they can, but I don't blame them for this Venom book not being super great because it was left, Donny Cates came in, he dropped his bomb, and all right, have fun with the fallout, figuring that out. I told my story, and left the world in complete disaster. Good luck. I think Donny Cates' story would have been a really good last Venom story. Like, this is it. This is the last Venom story there's ever going to be. Have it take place way in the future, because they've done things like that, where it would have been a great story. Eddie ends up being the King in Black, and like that's the end of Venom's story. But having it take place in the current universe, it just really left it in a really, really difficult spot, which I'm not happy with. So as much as it may have enjoyed Donny Cates' Venom, enjoyed the story, it did really, I think, ruin the character in the end. It was more bad than good. Now, hopefully something can be done to get him back on track. I think it's probably going to take a lot of work or some retconning or something, but it needs to get back to maybe not the absolute status quo, but something resembling what it sort of used to be at some point. Anyway. Let's see. Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 9. I just saw that this is a part 2 of 2. I'm guessing that part 1 was in some sort of Nightwing book. I hate it when they do this. I don't want to read Nightwing. I don't want to have a single issue of Nightwing just so this story makes sense. What it does for me is it does not make me buy Nightwing. It makes me enjoy this issue less because I don't exactly know what's going on. I'll get it. I'll read it. I'll try to figure it out. But I hate when they do this. And I just noticed that. Now I'm in a bad mood. No, I'm fine. Thor 23. So this is the end of God of Hammers. Again, we have Donny Cates doing Donny Cates stuff, dropping big bombs. Who knows what's going to happen when he leaves Thor? If he's still planning on... I don't think he's getting off Thor anytime soon, so he's not going to totally destroy the character. But my fear is that eventually when Cates leaves Thor, he's going to do the Cates exit that he did with Venom and just totally leave Thor in disarray. So it's the character's basically destroyed until someone could figure out how to fix what he does. That's my fear. But for now... It's I don't know. The God of Hammers thing is dumb. It's just Cates being Cates and doing over the top stuff that doesn't really need to be done. Eternals 10. And if I have to cut stuff, I'm thinking probably Venom and Thor are the ones that are going to get cut. Thor because of Cates being on it, and Venom because of what Cates did to Venom. So I don't know. Cates has been real big in comics and real hot, but maybe it's one of those things like, man, the long-term effects are starting to show, and he just kind of messes crap up. All right, Eternals 10. Looks like we got Captain Marvel coming in. Eternals has been fun. The reason that we have an Eternals book right now is probably because the Eternals movie came out, and I know that it didn't do very well. I thought it was great. But if for anything, I thank the Eternals movie for getting an Eternals book again. I do really enjoy the Eternals. And lastly, Strange Academy 17. So now I get to read 16 and 17 one after another. So I can't really speak to exactly what's going on here because I didn't read 16. I just got it this week. I know that one kid that lost his powers when he had a coat or something and is now... sort of making a deal with the devil with this gas lamp character. That's sort of the last I remember from what would be issue 15. He's kind of being secretive about it. I think it's kind of weird that they're letting him stay at the school because he doesn't have any magic powers, and it is a school for those magically inclined. I think not only because the curriculum is to help them use that, but also... it helps them survive because crazy stuff happens. And now you have just this, muggle essentially in this school that has no magic powers to defend themselves or to really be able to participate in the things that they do. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see what this gas lamp thing is all about. It continues to be good. But yeah. That's it. So depending how you count, there's either 14 or 10 or 6 books this week. In reality, 14, it'll be fine. But that's it. Let me know your thoughts. Are you running into this sort of book inflation or subscription inflation problem that I'm having? I am hoping that it is going to die down sort of naturally. And it's just been a tough few weeks, but we'll see. I'll probably give it another few weeks to see what happens, and if it's still sort of a problem, then I'll decide to make some cuts. But we shall see. So that's it. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, of course, and don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.